You check your bank account on Sunday night. The number is fine, not alarming, not impressive. You tell yourself you'll get serious about money next month. Next month when things settle down. Next month when you're not so tired. But next month has been coming for 2 years now, and you are not broke. You are not irresponsible. You are not stupid. So why does the number never move? The answer isn't in your spreadsheet. It's in your brain. Deep problem. Here's the thing about earning a decent salary. It creates a very specific kind of blindness. You're not struggling the way you used to. The bills get paid. You can afford the dinner out, the streaming subscriptions, the weekend trip. So the urgency you'd feel if things were truly bad, it never shows up. But quiet financial stagnation is its own kind of emergency. It's just slow enough that you don't panic. And because you don't panic, you don't change. You upgrade your lifestyle every time you get a raise. The car gets nicer. The apartment gets bigger. The wardrobe expands. And somehow every dollar of new income finds a home, usually within 6 months. You earn more, you spend more, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be stays exactly the same. Most people in this position blame discipline. They think, if I just had more willpower, I'd stop spending. But that's not actually what's happening. Willpower isn't the problem. Your brain is the problem, and your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's protecting your status. It's chasing comfort. It's avoiding the low-level dread that comes with looking too closely at what your choices are really adding up to. Your brain is not sabotaging you out of laziness. It is working overtime every single day to make sure you don't have to feel financially uncomfortable. And that instinct, that drive toward immediate ease, is costing you more than you've ever calculated. Psychology breakdown. Here's what's actually happening underneath the surface. Every time you spend money, especially on something that feels like a small reward, your brain releases dopamine. Not a flood of it, but a soft, satisfying pulse. The coffee. The new shoes. The dinner you didn't plan but said yes to anyway. Each one is a microdose of relief, and your brain learns. It remembers that spending felt good. So the next time you're stressed, bored, anxious, or just tired, it quietly suggests, spend something. It doesn't announce itself. It just makes you open the app or say yes or think it's only $20. This is the dopamine loop, and it is not a character flaw. It's neuroscience. The problem is that the brain can't distinguish between spending $20 on a meal and saving $20 toward a goal. One gives you a hit now. The other pays off in 2 years. Your brain, left to its defaults, will always choose now. Then there's status. Humans are hardwired to track where they stand relative to the people around them. This isn't vanity, it's ancient survival logic. In a tribal setting, status meant protection, resources, safety. Your brain is still running that same operating system. So when your colleague buys a nicer car, or your friend moves to a better neighborhood, there's a low hum of anxiety that follows. And spending on the right thing at the right moment quiets it. The most dangerous part is what psychologists call hedonic adaptation. No matter what you buy, the pleasure fades. Within weeks, sometimes days, the new thing becomes the normal thing. The baseline resets, so your brain starts looking for the next hit. This is why raises never feel like enough. Why the house is never quite right. Why the upgrade is always just one step away from being finished. And underneath all of this, quieter, harder to name, is identity. Most people have a story about who they are with money. Maybe you grew up hearing that people like you don't get wealthy. Maybe money was something that caused stress, that came and went, that was never quite stable. Those early experiences didn't just shape memories. They shaped your sense of what's normal for you. And your brain, without your permission, keeps that definition in place. Finance connection. Let's make this concrete. Say you earn $65,000 a year. After taxes, you take home around $4,200 a month. You pay rent, utilities, groceries. You have a car payment. You have subscriptions you've forgotten about. You grab coffee most mornings. You eat out maybe 8 or 9 times a month. You buy things online. Not irresponsibly, just regularly. At the end of the month, you might save $200 if things go well. Some months, nothing. That $200, invested consistently at a 7% average return, becomes around $240,000 in 30 years. That sounds like a lot until you realize that most financial advisors say you'll need at least $1 million to retire comfortably. The gap isn't income. It's the decisions made inside the dopamine loop, the status anxiety, and the identity story, playing out every single day, invisibly. Here's the number that changes how people see this. If you redirected just $400 a month, The rough cost of subscriptions, impulse purchases, and eating out slightly less, your monthly savings triple. Over 30 years at the same return, that becomes over $480,000. The difference between comfortable and constrained in retirement is not a second income. It's the $400 your brain currently spends to feel okay in the present. And this is the cruelest part of lifestyle inflation. It doesn't feel like a choice. Every expense has a justification. You work hard. You deserve the nice dinner. You've been stressed. The new shoes help. Each decision in isolation is reasonable. But when you zoom out and look at the architecture of your spending, at the pattern, you can see the dopamine loop everywhere. You can see the identity story in every "I'll deal with it" later. You can see the hedonic treadmill in the endless cycle of buying and resetting. The brain doesn't let you see the pattern from inside the pattern. That's what makes this so hard. And that's exactly why changing it requires something different than just trying harder. Transformation. Here are 5 things that actually work, not motivational advice. Specific, concrete changes grounded in how the brain actually operates. 1. Automate before you can choose. The dopamine loop only fires when you're making a decision. Remove the decision. Set up an automatic transfer, whatever you can, even $50, to a savings or investment account the day your paycheck arrives. Not at the end of the month. The day it arrives. You cannot spend what is no longer in your checking account. This one structural change does more than any amount of willpower. 2. Name the feeling before you spend. When you feel the pull to buy something unplanned, pause for 60 seconds and ask, what am I actually feeling right now? Tired? Anxious? Bored? Underpaid? Most impulse purchases are emotional management, not consumption. When you name the emotion, you interrupt the loop. You don't always stop the purchase, but over time, you make it conscious. And conscious spending is fundamentally different from reactive spending. 3. Rewrite the identity story with evidence. Your brain follows the story it believes about you. So start replacing the old story with new evidence. Open the investment account, even if it's $40. Check the balance every Sunday. Track your net worth, not just your spending. The goal is to give your brain new data about who you are. You are someone who has an investment account. You are someone who checks their net worth. Identity changes when behavior changes first, not the other way around. 4. Give status a new target. If your brain is wired to track status, use that wiring. Just redirect what earns status in your own mind. Find a community, the online or in person, where financial independence is the goal. Where people celebrate savings milestones, not car upgrades. Your brain will start chasing the new signal. It's not about eliminating the status drive. It's about giving it somewhere better to go. 5. Run the 30-year number on every significant purchase. Before you upgrade your car, your apartment, or your phone, calculate what that extra monthly cost becomes over 30 years at 7%. A $300 car payment upgrade becomes over $360,000. That number is real. Most people never see it because no one shows them the math. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And your brain starts treating future money with the same weight it currently gives present comfort. Strong ending. Your brain is not broken. It's doing exactly what brains do, protecting you from discomfort, rewarding you for immediate choices, keeping you inside the identity it already understands. It has been optimized for survival, not for wealth. The people who quietly build financial freedom are not people with more discipline. They're people who stopped fighting their brain and started working with its actual wiring. They automated the hard choices. They changed what earned them status. They built a new identity, one small action at a time. You are not behind because you're lazy. You are behind because no one ever showed you what your brain was actually doing with your money. Now you know. If this changed how you think about money, subscribe. The next video covers exactly why people who know all of this still don't act on it. It's not what you expect.